The late August air hangs thick with humidity as I pull my beat-up Toyota into the gravel lot of St. Augustine's banquet hall. My fingers tighten around the steering wheel, the leather worn smooth from years of nervous grip. I'm 26, the owner of a thriving catering business, and yet here I am, stomach twisting like I'm 14 again, waiting for my parents to notice I aced another test they'd never mention. The parking lot's a sea of gleaming cars: Carter's BMW, Paige's cherry red Mini Cooper, Mom's pristine Lexus. Mine sticks out like a sore thumb, a faded gray relic next to their polished trophies. I don't care, not really. At least that's what I tell myself as I smooth the wrinkles from my emerald silk dress and step out into the evening heat. The hall glows golden against the deepening twilight, string lights crisscrossing above the outdoor patio where guests mill about with flutes of champagne. My brother's wedding. Carter Voss, 29, charming real estate agent, marrying his high school sweetheart Tessa in a ceremony my parents have been planning since he popped the question last Christmas. I can still hear Mom's voice over the phone, shrill with excitement. "It's going to be perfect, Liana, the event of the year." She hadn't asked about my life, my business, just launched into details about floral arrangements and Tessa's dress. I'd listened, nodding into the silence, the way I always do. My heels sink slightly into the grass as I cross the lawn, the faint hum of laughter and clinking glasses growing louder. I spot Paige first, her blonde curls bouncing as she twirls in a pink tulle dress, giggling with a gaggle of bridesmaids. She's 22, still Mom's little princess, even though she dropped out of college last year to find herself. Then there's Carter, towering over the crowd in his tailored tux, his arms slung around Tessa, who looks like she stepped out of a bridal magazine. Blonde, radiant, flawless. I catch his eye and wave, a small, hopeful gesture. He flashes that megawatt smile, the one that's closed 100 deals, then turns back to his guests without a second glance. Typical. "Liana, there you are." Mom's voice cuts through the chatter, sharp and bright, like she's announcing my arrival to an audience that doesn't care. She sweeps toward me, her silver gown shimmering under the lights, Dad trailing behind with his usual bourbon in hand. She air kisses my cheeks, careful not to smudge her lipstick, then steps back to appraise me. That dress is bold, very green. Her tone's light, but I feel the sting. The way her eyes flicker over me like I'm a project she's not sure she wants to tackle. Dad grunts, his gaze already drifting back to the crowd. "Glad you made it, kid. Carter was worried you'd be late." "I wouldn't miss it," I say, forcing a smile. It's true, I wouldn't. Not because I'm dying to watch Carter bask in the spotlight again, but because I'm here for a reason they don't suspect. My secret hums beneath my skin, a quiet thrill I've been nursing for weeks. They don't know it yet, but I'm not just a guest tonight. I'm the one feeding this whole damn affair. It started 6 months ago when Tessa reached out. She'd found my company, Voss and Vine Catering, on Instagram. Ironic, since my family still calls it my little food hobby. She gushed about our reviews, our signature lavender honey chicken, the way we turned events into art. "We have to have you for the wedding," she'd said, oblivious to the fact that I was Carter's sister. I'd hesitated, the old ache of being invisible flaring up, but then I'd agreed. Why not? It was a job, my biggest yet, and I'd prove I could do it better than anyone. I didn't tell Carter, didn't tell Mom or Dad, just signed the contract, hired extra staff, and threw myself into planning a menu that'd leave their precious guests speechless. Now, as I weave through the crowd, I catch glimpses of my work in motion. Servers in crisp black uniforms glide past with trays of prosciutto-wrapped figs. The faint scent of truffle oil curling through the air. A woman in a sequined dress moans softly as she bites into a mini crab cake, her friend nodding in agreement. "Whoever did the food is a genius," she says, loud enough for me to hear. I duck my head, hiding a smile, and keep moving toward the bar. The bartender, a guy I hired last month, winks as he slides me a glass of Pinot Grigio. "Boss, you've outdone yourself," he murmurs. I nod, the compliment warming me more than the wine. The ceremony's over by the time I settle into a corner of the patio, the vows exchanged under a flower-drenched arbor I watched my team set up yesterday. Dinner's about to start, and I can feel the energy shift as guests drift toward the banquet hall. I'm not seated with the family. Shocker, Mom texted me last week. We're keeping the head table small, sweetie. You'll be fine with the cousins, right? Fine. I'm always fine. I find my name card at a table near the back, sandwiched between Carter's loud college buddy and a great aunt who smells like mothballs. I don't care. Not tonight. Because tonight, I'm not just Liana, the overlooked middle kid. I'm the one holding the strings. Dinner unfolds like a dream. My dream. The first course, a roasted beet salad with goat cheese and candied walnuts, earns murmurs of approval. Then the main event. Herb-crusted rack of lamb, tender and pink, paired with a rosemary juice I perfected over months. The room fills with the clatter of forks, the soft hum of satisfaction. I pick at my plate, too wired to eat, my eyes darting between tables. Tessa's dad stands to toast, praising the culinary masterpiece they're enjoying. Carter beams, accepting the praise as if he had anything to do with it. Mom claps delicately, her diamond bracelet catching the light. They have no idea. Then it happens. As the servers clear the plates, Mom catches my eye from the head table and waves me over. I hesitate, glass halfway to my lips, but she's insistent, her manicured hand fluttering like a bird. I set the wine down and cross the room, the chatter fading into a dull roar in my ears. She's standing by Dad now, both of them flanked by Carter and Tessa, a perfect family tableau. "Liana, there you are," she says, her voice syrupy with that performative warmth she uses for guests. "We were just telling everyone how proud we are of Carter, and, well, we thought you should join us for a moment." I freeze, a flicker of hope sparking despite myself. Are they acknowledging me? Here? Now? But then Dad chuckles, a low, rumbling sound that sets my teeth on edge. "Yeah, Liana's been busy with her little food thing," he says, waving a hand dismissively. "What do you call it again, honey? Catering? Keeps her out of trouble, I suppose." Mom laughs, a high tinkling sound that grates against my nerves. "Oh, David, don't tease her. It's cute, really. She's always loved playing with recipes. Not like Carter, of course, our real star." She pats his arm, and the guests around them chuckle, their eyes sliding over me like I'm a mildly amusing footnote. My chest tightens, heat creeping up my neck. I open my mouth to respond, to say something, but Carter cuts in, grinning like he's doing me a favor. "Hey, at least she's here, right? Could have been stuck in a kitchen somewhere." More laughter, louder now, rippling through the head table and beyond. Tessa smiles awkwardly, her eyes darting to mine, but she doesn't say anything. Paige, perched nearby, snickers into her champagne. "Yeah, Liana, maybe you can make me a sandwich later." The air feels too thick, too hot, pressing against my ribs. I force a smile, the kind I've perfected over years of swallowing their jabs. But inside, something snaps. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet final break, like a thread stretched too thin. I glance at the servers moving through the room, my team, my people, delivering perfection while my family mocks me in front of 100 guests. And that's when I decide. They don't get to do this anymore. Not tonight, not ever again. I take a step back, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. "Actually, I've got something to check on. Enjoy the meal." Mom blinks, confused, but I'm already turning away, my heels clicking against the polished floor as I head toward the kitchen. The laughter fades behind me, replaced by the clatter of pots and the hiss of steam. My world, my domain. I catch my reflection in a stainless steel fridge door, flushed cheeks, bright eyes. A woman they've underestimated for the last time. They mocked me at my brother's wedding, called me a failure, a hobbyist. But they don't know the half of it, and by the end of the night, they'll wish they'd kept their mouths shut. The kitchen door swings shut behind me, muffling the hum of the banquet hall into a distant buzz. The air in here is warm, thick with the scents of garlic and butter, the sharp tang of lemon zest cutting through it all. My team moves like a well-oiled machine, knives flashing, plates clattering, a symphony I've conducted 100 times before. I lean against the counter, my palms pressing into the cool steel, and take a deep breath. The emerald silk of my dress clings to my skin, a little damp from the heat. Or maybe the adrenaline. I can still hear Mom's laugh echoing in my head, Dad's dismissive grunt, Carter's smug little jab. Could have been stuck in a kitchen somewhere. The irony almost makes me laugh out loud. If only they knew. "Liana, you okay?" It's Marisol, my sous chef, her dark braids swinging as she glances over from the dessert station. She's dusting powdered sugar over a tray of lavender macarons, her hands steady despite the chaos around us. I hired her 2 years ago, back when Voss and Vine was just me and a rented food truck. Now she's my right hand, the one who keeps me grounded when I'm spiraling. Her brown eyes narrow, reading me like she always does. You've got that look. I'm fine, I lie, straightening up. My voice is clipped, but she doesn't push. She just nods, sliding the tray into the pass-through for the servers. Family stuff? She asks, wiping her hands on her apron. I meet her gaze, and for a second, I almost spill it all. The years of being the afterthought, the way they just turn me into a punchline in front of everyone. But I swallow it down. Something like that? How's the timing? On track. Dessert's prepped, coffee's brewing, we're golden. She grins, but it fades when she sees I don't return it. You sure you don't want me to handle the floor? You look like you could use a break. No, I say too quickly. I've got this. I need to be out there, not hiding, not running. I smooth my hair back, tuck a stray wave behind my ear, and grab a clipboard from the counter. It's my shield tonight. Proof I belong here, even if they don't see it. Let's keep it tight. I'll check the front. I push back through the swinging doors, the noise of the reception crashing over me like a wave. The head tables still glowing under the chandeliers, my family laughing over their empty plates, oblivious to the fact that every bite they took came from my hands. I catch Tessa's eye again. She's picking at a macaron now, her delicate fingers breaking it apart. She looks up, offers a small smile, and I wonder if she feels it too. The undercurrent of something off. She's sweet, Tessa. Too sweet for Carter, if I'm honest. But she doesn't know what's coming either. I weave through the tables, clipboard hugged to my chest, nodding at servers as they glide past with trays of coffee and petit fours. My cousin Jake intercepts me near the bar, his tie already loosened, a beer in hand. Liana, hell of a spread tonight. You try the lamb, melted in my mouth. He's loud, tipsy, the way he always gets at family events. I force a smile. Glad you liked it. Busy night. I try to sidestep him, but he grabs my arm, sloshing beer onto the floor. Seriously, who'd they hire for this? Gotta get their card for my next party. My heart stutters. This is it. The opening I didn't expect. I could tell him. Right now, watch the shock ripple through his bleary eyes, let it spread like wildfire through the cousins, the aunts, the uncles. But I don't, not yet. Some local outfit, I say, shrugging. I'll ask around. He nods, satisfied, and stumbles off toward the dance floor. I exhale, the moment slipping away, but the idea sticks. They'll find out soon enough. Just not like this. I'm almost to the patio doors when I hear it. My name, sharp and clear, cutting through the music. Liana, it's Paige, her voice pitched high with that bratty edge she's never outgrown. I turn, and there she is, tottering toward me in her two high heels, a smirk tugging at her glossed lips. A few of Tessa's bridesmaids trail behind her, their pastel dresses swishing like they're in some kind of synchronized Mean Girl parade. Where are you running off to? Don't tell me you're bailing already. Just checking something, I say, keeping my tone even. My fingers tighten around the clipboard, the edges biting into my skin. She stops a foot away, close enough that I can smell her floral perfume. Something expensive, probably a gift from Mom. God, you're so serious tonight. What's with the clipboard? You look like a waiter. The bridesmaids giggle, and one of them, a redhead with a nose ring, pipes up. Yeah, are you, like, helping out or something? That's so cute. Heat floods my face, but I don't flinch. Something like that, I mutter, turning to go. Paige grabs my wrist, her nails digging in just enough to sting. Wait, no, come on, stay. We're about to do toasts, and it'll be hilarious. Carter's already tipsy. He might say something stupid. Her eyes gleam with mischief, and I know what she's thinking. Another chance to watch me squirm while they all shine. I'll pass, I say, pulling my arm free. Her smirk falters, but she recovers fast, tossing her hair. Suit yourself. Don't cry to me when you miss the fun. She spins away, the bridesmaids following like ducklings, their laughter trailing behind them. I watch them go, my pulse thudding in my ears. Hilarious. That's what this is to them. A game, a show. And I'm the prop they drag out when it's convenient. I step outside, the night air cool against my flesh skin. The patio's quieter now, just a few smokers huddled near the railing. The faint thump of bass leaking through the walls. I set the clipboard on a table and lean against it, staring out at the dark silhouette of the trees lining the property. My phone buzzes in my clutch, probably Marisol checking in, but I don't reach for it. Instead, I close my eyes and let the sounds wash over me. Crickets chirping, a distant car horn, the low murmur of voices inside. For a second, I'm back in my tiny apartment kitchen, testing recipes at 2 a.m., the world silent except for the sizzle of butter in a pan. That's where I'm real, not here. The door creaks open behind me, and I tense, expecting Paige again. But it's Tessa. She steps out, her white dress glowing faintly under the string lights, a champagne flute dangling from her fingers. "Hey," she says softly, shutting the door behind her. "You okay? You've been running around all night." I straighten, smoothing my expression. "Yeah, just needed some air. Big crowd in there." She nods, sipping her drink, then hesitates. "Your family's intense, huh? I mean, they're great, but..." She trails off, her eyes searching mine. She's fishing, I realize. She's noticed something's off, even if she can't name it. I could tell her, spill the whole messy truth right now. But where's the fun in that? "There's something," I say, keeping it vague. She laughs, a little nervous, then glances back at the hall. "Carter's about to give his speech. You should come in. It's your brother's wedding, after all." There's a plea in her voice, like she's trying to glue us all together. Poor Tessa. She doesn't know the cracks have been there for years. "I'll be there in a minute," I promise, and she smiles, relieved, before slipping back inside. Alone again, I pick up the clipboard, running my thumb along the edge. Carter's speech, the toasts, the perfect moment they've all been building toward. And suddenly, it clicks. That's when I'll do it. Not now, not in the shadows. In the spotlight, where they can't look away. I head back to the kitchen, my steps purposeful now, the fog in my head clearing. Marisol's plating the last of the desserts. Tiny chocolate tarts with edible gold leaf. A touch I added just to see if they'd notice. "Change of plan," I tell her, grabbing my apron from the hook. Her eyebrows shoot up. "What's up?" "I'm going out there, with the team." She stares at me, then grins, slow and wide. "Oh, this is gonna be good." I tie the apron over my dress, the silk disappearing beneath crisp black cotton. It's not just a uniform, it's a statement. "Make sure the mic's live when I get up there," I say, and she nods, already moving toward the AV guy we hired. The clock above the stove ticks toward 9 p.m. Toasts are next. Carter will stand up, all charm and swagger, and thank everyone for coming. Mom will cry her perfect tears. Dad will clap him on the back, and then I'll walk out, tray in hand, and watch their faces change. They mocked me at my brother's wedding, called me a failure in front of everyone, but they don't know I own the catering team, and I'm about to make sure they never forget it. The kitchen doors swing open, and I step back into the banquet hall, the apron tied tight around my waist, a silver tray balanced in my hands. The weight of it steadies me. 6 chocolate tarts, each one a little work of art, glistening with that edible gold leaf I spent hours sourcing. My heels click against the hardwood, a rhythm that matches the pounding in my chest, but my face stays calm, composed. I've played this role before, the quiet one, the helper, the shadow. Tonight I'm rewriting the script, the room's alive with the tail end of dinner, guests leaning back in their chairs, ties loosened, wine glasses half empty. The DJ's voice crackles over the speakers, smooth and practiced. "Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll please take your seats, we're about to start the toasts." A murmur ripples through the crowd as people shuffle back to their tables, the energy shifting from casual to expectant. I catch Marisol's eye across the room. She's by the sound booth, giving me a subtle thumbs up. The mic's live. Good. I move toward the head table, weaving through the maze of chairs and outstretched legs, my tray held high like a shield. The chatter dips as I approach, a few heads turning. Curious, not suspicious. Not yet. Carter's already on his feet, adjusting his cufflinks, that easy grin plastered across his face. Mom's beside him, dabbing at her eyes with a lace handkerchief, the picture of a proud mother. Dad's got his bourbon raised, ready to toast his golden boy. Paige is slouched in her chair, scrolling her phone, but she glances up as I get closer, her lips twitching like she's about to say something snarky. Tessa's the only one who looks unsure, her fingers twisting the stem of her champagne flute. Liana? Mom's voice cuts through the hum, sharp with confusion. She tilts her head, her perfectly styled bob catching the light. What are you doing with that tray? There's a laugh in her tone, light and dismissive. The same one she used earlier when she called my business cute. A few guests nearby chuckle, picking up on the vibe. Oh, look, the little sister's playing server. I don't answer. I just keep walking, my steps deliberate, until I'm standing right beside the head table, close enough to see the faint sweat beading on Carter's forehead. Everything okay, sis? Carter says, his voice loud enough to carry, that big brother condescension dripping from every word. He's still smiling, but it's tighter now, like he senses something's off. I set the tray down on the table with a soft clink, the tarts catching the chandelier light, sparkling like tiny crowns. The room's quieting, eyes drifting toward us. I straighten up, smooth my apron, and turn to face them. Mom, Dad, Carter, Paige, Tessa, the whole perfect little unit. Everything's great, I say, my voice steady, louder than usual. I can feel the mic picking it up, amplifying it through the speakers. A few heads snap up, startled. I just wanted to make sure you all enjoyed the meal. You seemed to like it earlier, when you were laughing about my little food thing. Mom's smile falters, her handkerchief pausing mid-dab. Dad's glass lowers an inch, his bushy brows knitting together. Carter blinks, thrown, but he recovers fast, chuckling. Come on, Liana, don't be dramatic. Sit down, huh? No, I think I'll stand, I say, and this time I let my voice carry, clear, calm, cutting through the room like a blade. See, I've been standing all night, actually, running this show, because that meal you just ate, the lamb, the salads, those tarts you're about to dig into, that's mine. Voss and Vine Catering, my company, my team, my work. I pause, letting it sink in, watching their faces shift from confusion to something else, something rawer. The silence is deafening. Mom's mouth opens, then closes, her eyes darting to Dad like he'll fix this. Dad's staring at me, his glass now resting on the table, forgotten. Paige's phone slips from her hand, clattering onto her plate with a sound that makes half the room flinch. Carter's grin is gone, replaced by a blank, wide-eyed stare. Tessa's the only one who moves. She leans forward, her lips parting. Wait, you're the caterer? I hired you? Yeah, I say, meeting her gaze. You did. 6 months ago. You loved our Instagram, remember? Didn't realize I was Carter's sister until after the contract was signed. I figured it didn't matter. I turn back to the rest of them, my family, the ones who've spent years brushing me off. Apparently, it doesn't matter to them either. They didn't even know. A murmur starts up, low at first, then louder, guests whispering, craning their necks. I can feel the heat of 100 pairs of eyes, but I don't look away from the head table. So, when you mocked me tonight, I continue, called me a failure, a hobbyist in front of all these people, your friends, your clients, Tessa's family, you didn't know you were eating my food? You didn't know I've built a business from nothing while you were busy celebrating Carter's every move? You didn't know I've been paying my own way since I was 18. No handouts, no trust fund. Just me. Mom's hand flies to her chest, her face paling beneath her makeup. Liana, this isn't the time. She starts, but I cut her off, my voice rising just enough to stop her cold. No, Mom, it is the time. You made it the time when you laughed at me an hour ago, when Dad said my job keeps me out of trouble, when Carter acted like I'm some kid who doesn't belong here, when Paige told me to make her a sandwich. I glance at my sister, who's shrunk back in her chair, her smirk long gone. You all made this the time? The room's dead quiet now, except for the faint hum of the speakers and the creak of a chair as someone shifts uncomfortably. I take a step closer to the table, my hands steady at my sides. I could have kept quiet, let you enjoy your night, your perfect wedding, your perfect story. But you don't get to humiliate me in public and walk away clean. Not anymore. So here's the truth. I own the catering team. Every bite you took tonight was mine. And if you didn't like it, well, I gesture to the tray of tarts, untouched in front of them. Feel free to send it back. For a heartbeat, no one moves. Then Tessa stands, her chair scraping back, her face a mix of shock and something like awe. Liana, I had no idea. This food, it's incredible. You're incredible. Her voice wavers, but it's loud enough to carry, and a few guests murmur agreement. Carter grabs her arm, his jaw tight. Tess, sit down, he hisses, but she shakes him off, her eyes locked on me. No, Carter, she says, quieter now, but firm. She's right. You didn't tell me any of this. None of you did. She looks at Mom, Dad, Paige, her new family, and there's a crack in her voice, a realization dawning. I almost feel bad for her. Almost. Dad clears his throat, finally finding his voice. Liana, this is ridiculous. You're making a scene at your brother's wedding? A scene? I laugh, short and sharp, and it echoes through the mic. You made the scene when you turned me into a joke? I'm just setting the record straight. I untie my apron, letting it fall onto the table beside the tray, the silk of my dress catching the light again. Enjoy the rest of your night. My team's got it from here. I turn and walk away, the clipboard forgotten, my head high. The room erupts behind me, whispers turning to chatter, a few gasps, someone clapping hesitantly before it catches on, a slow wave of applause. I don't look back. I don't need to. I can picture it. Mom's horrified stare, Dad's clenched fists, Carter's red face, Paige's wide eyes. They mocked me at my brother's wedding, but now they're choking on their own words. And my food. I push through the kitchen doors again, and Marisol's waiting, her arms crossed, a grin splitting her face. Holy shit, boss, you just dropped a bomb out there. The rest of the teams gathered, peering through the pass-through, a mix of shock and pride in their eyes. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding, and for the first time all night, I smile. Real, wide, unrestrained. Yeah, I say, grabbing a spare tart from the counter and taking a bite. The chocolate melts on my tongue, rich and bittersweet. I did. The kitchen buzzes around me, but it's a distant hum now, like static on an old radio. I lean against the counter, the half-eaten tart still in my hand, its sweetness lingering on my tongue. Marisol's saying something, probably hyping me up, knowing her, but I can't focus. My ears are ringing, my pulse still hammering from the adrenaline of walking away from that table, from their stunned faces, from the sound of applause trailing me like a shadow. I did it. I really did it. After 26 years of swallowing their barbs, I finally threw them back. And it felt better than I ever imagined. The door swings open and I tense, half expecting Mom to storm in with her crocodile tears, or Dad with his bourbon-fueled bluster. But it's Tessa. Her white dress is a little rumpled now, her cheeks flushed, and she's clutching her phone like it's a lifeline. She stops just inside the threshold, her eyes wide, searching mine. Liana, she says, her voice soft but urgent. Can we talk? I straighten, brushing crumbs from my fingers, and nod toward the back corner, away from the clatter of the kitchen. My team's already back at work. Marisol barking orders, plates stacking up for the final coffee service. But they steal glances at us, curious. I don't blame them. This night's turned into a soap opera, and I'm the unexpected star. Tessa follows me, her heels tapping unevenly like she's still reeling. I didn't know, she starts, the words tumbling out fast. I swear I had no idea you were, you. Carter never said anything about your business. Your parents? They made it sound like you were just... She trails off, wincing. I feel so stupid. You're not stupid, I say, leaning against a prep table, arms crossed. They're good at that, making me invisible. I'm used to it. My voice is steady, but there's a raw edge I can't quite hide. She bites her lip, glancing down at her phone, then back at me. What you said out there, it was incredible. Brave. I've never seen Carter look so lost. Or your mom. She's still out there, whispering to your dad like they're trying to figure out damage control. I huff a laugh, short and dry. Let them scramble. They've had 26 years to figure me out and didn't bother. They don't get a redo just because I called them on it. Tessa nods, slow, like she's processing. Then she hesitates, her thumb hovering over her phone screen. People are talking. A lot. Some of Carter's clients came up to me after you left, asked for your business card, said they've never tasted anything like that lamb. I think, I think you just stole the show. Her words hit me like a jolt, sharp and electric. I blink, letting them sink in. Stole the show. From Carter, on his wedding day. The thought twists in my chest. Not guilt, not exactly, but something close. I push it down. He'd have done the same to me without a second thought. Good, I say finally, meeting her gaze. They can find me online. Voss and Vine. We're booked out 3 months anyway. She smiles, small but genuine, and for a second, I see why Carter picked her. She's got a warmth he'll never match. I'm sorry, Liana, for all of it. I should have seen it sooner. I shrug, softening despite myself. You're not the one who needs to apologize. Enjoy your night, okay? You deserve it. She nods, then steps forward and hugs me. Quick, awkward, but real. I let her, the silk of my dress catching on the lace of hers before she pulls back and slips out the door. The kitchen's quieter now, the last of the desserts plated and sent out. I untie my apron, folding it over my arm, and head for the back exit. I need air, real air, not the recycled stuff pumping through this place. The night's cooler now, the humidity lifting, and I step onto the gravel lot, my Toyota waiting like an old friend. My phone buzzes in my clutch, ignored for hours, and I fish it out, the screen lighting up with a flood of notifications. Texts, missed calls, a group chat I muted years ago, now blowing up. Carter, what the hell, Liana? You ruined my wedding. Mom, Savannah, call me right now. This is unacceptable. Dad, you've embarrassed us in front of everyone. Fix this. Paige, wow, drama queen much? Grow up. I scroll through, my thumb hovering over the block button, but then a new one pops up. From Jake, my tipsy cousin. Liana, you're a badass. Food was unreal. Booking you for my anniversary party. Don't tell Carter LOL. Another from Marisol. Boss, check Instagram. We're trending. I open the app and there it is. Photos of my tarts, my lamb, my team, tagged with number Voss and Vine and number wedding catering goals. Comments rolling in. Best meal I've ever had at a wedding. Who is this woman? Carter's sister just owned that whole family. I lean against my car, the metal cool against my back, and let out a breath that feels like it's been trapped in my lungs for years. They mocked me at my brother's wedding, called me a failure, a joke, a nobody. But now the world knows who I am, and they're hungry for more. 2 weeks later, I'm in my apartment, the late afternoon sun streaming through the tall windows I fell in love with when I signed the lease 3 years ago. No cosigner, no parental strings. The space smells like fresh basil. I'm testing a new pesto recipe, the food processor whirring on the counter. My phone's propped up on a cookbook, playing a voicemail I've saved from yesterday. It's Mom, her voice tight, controlled, the way it gets when she's trying not to lose it. Liana, it's your mother. We've had some time to think and, well, we'd like you to come to dinner next Sunday, just the family. We need to talk about what happened. Your father's upset, but he's willing to listen. Please call me back. The message ends, and I let it hang there, unanswered. I haven't called back. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The wedding fallout's been a slow burn. Carter's texted me twice, once to yell, once to ask if I'd cater his client's open house, for a discount since we're family. I didn't reply. Paige posted a passive-aggressive Instagram story about toxic people, then deleted it when her followers started asking questions. Dad's golf buddies keep name-dropping Voss and Vine at the club, according to Jake, who's now my unofficial hype man. And Tessa, she sent me a handwritten note last week, tucked into a payment for the catering balance. Full price, no family discount. Thank you for everything, Liana. You're amazing. Let's get coffee sometime. T. Business is booming. Marisol's had to hire 2 new prep cooks to keep up with the bookings pouring in. Weddings, corporate gigs, even a charity gala next month. The website crashed twice from the traffic spike after Carter's wedding, and our Instagram's up 10,000 followers. I've got a meeting with a food critic next week, some guy who saw the buzz and wants to feature us in a magazine. All because I stood up, tray in hand, and told the truth. I turn off the food processor, the silence settling over me like a blanket. My apartment's small but mine. Exposed brick walls, a secondhand couch I reupholstered myself, a shelf of cookbooks I've collected since I was 16. No family photos on the walls anymore. I took them down after the wedding, stacked them in a box under my bed. Not destroyed, just retired. I don't need their faces staring at me to know who I am. My phone buzzes again. A text from Marisol. Boss, just got a call from some lady named Vivian. Says she's your aunt. Wants to book us for her firm's holiday party. Sounded proud as hell. Aunt Vivian. Dad's sister, the one who walked away from the family years ago after they tried to shrink her into their box. I haven't seen her since I was a kid, but I remember her. Sharp, independent, the only one who ever asked about my dreams. I smile, typing back, tell her yes, and charge her full price. She can afford it. I step onto my tiny balcony, a glass of Pinot Grigio in hand, the city sprawling out below me. The skyline glitters against the dusk, a mess of lights and possibilities I never let myself see when I was busy fitting into their version of me. They mocked me at my brother's wedding, tore me down in front of everyone they wanted to impress. But I didn't just rise. I built something they can't touch. And now, when they look at me, they'll see the woman who fed them, the one they underestimated, the one who turned their perfect night into her victory. I take a sip of wine, the breeze lifting my hair, and for the first time in years, I feel light, free. Revenge isn't always loud or messy. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, served on a silver tray with a side of gold-dusted tarts, and damn does it taste good.